Yes, we can see.
Oh, good. Yeah, so like Shantavai said, I'll be using IntelliJ. So it's been a while since I have used IntelliJ. So I might need all of your help, if I stuck anywhere. So, you know, for this class, what we're going to do, we are going to continue on whatever we did last class. So right now we are going to try to automate those scenarios and let's see how it goes. I hope all of you guys had chance to, at least try Postman and see how API works and how fun it is. So yeah, let's start. So we are going to create a Maven project. So just go to new. Oh, it's weird. Now, so actually, since I maximize, I'm unable to see what is in the top. So again, new, then Maven project, next. So we can name our project as, let's say, Gorest API. Then click on finish. Okay. So this is the pom.xml file. It should be the folder structure. Yep, everything's loading up. So I don't know, maybe my laptop is wearing weird, so it's kind of slow today. So for all of you know, right, all the folder structure and everything. So we are going to create one package under test. So let me create one package, right click, new package, and let's give our package name as chrome.qa.corest. So we have one package under test, then under Java we have one test called com.qa.corest. Now what we can do before adding any dependencies, let me create one class and we can take some notes, what we're going to do. So first of all, right, we're going to try to get all the list of users, right? In previously in the get calls. So let me create something similar. Let's say get API test. And we have one Maven project and we just created one class and our class name is get API test. So there is a couple of things I would like to give you one overview, right? What is REST API and how does it work? So does any of you know what is REST API or what is it used for? So we are gonna use REST Assured, right? So REST Assured is a open source library which provide classes, methods, and interfaces to test and validate the REST APIs. Okay, and there is a couple of other things, right, we need to keep in mind. So let me write that for you guys. we'll be testing API using REST assured library with BDD approach. So if you guys are not familiar with BDD approach, so in BDD, right, we use something called gherkin syntax. And in gherkin syntax, right, there is a couple of words which we use, such as given, when, then, and a couple of others, but those are familiar. Those are, widely used. So let me write something instead of. So there is, in rest assured, we are going to be using similar words, but in rest assured, they provide those as a method. So there is a couple of words called given, and in given, right, what we can add is, if I go to my Postman project, right, what is provided to us, right? So we know all the headers, which is it given to us, and is there authorization to cone if we need to add, and is there any parameters, right? So we can add everything in the given method. So add headers, parameters, and next method which we'll be using is called when. So when is like, what kind of request we are trying to send, right? So it's like we, in APIs, right, we can set a couple of different requests, such as get, get, post, put, and delete. So in when section, we're going to use what kind of method, what kind of, request we want to send. And then there is another method called then. In then method, right, we can validate the response. So what we have done in previously, right, once we make the call, so in our first test, we are checking, okay, what is the verify status code. So we can do similar stuff like all the assertions and everything under then method. So validate status code. Also, we can extract the response as well. Response, headers, and response body as well. And yeah, so these are the couple of methods from the rest assured library we are going to use. So to add the rest assured library, I hope all of you are familiar with this site. Let me go there. It is called Maven repository. And if you go to Maven repository, I hope all of you already use it, and just go search for rest assured. And there is a couple of fake rest assured library as well, but the one we're going to use is this one. This is the original one, io.rest assured. So just go here, and we're going to take this latest one, 4.3.3, copy it. Now go back to IntelliJ and go to pom.xml files, and under properties, right? Just we're gonna add the dependencies tag. I hope all of you are familiar with Maven and everything. If you have any question, feel free to ask. And also we are gonna use for the test, right? We're gonna use the testng library. So I'm gonna grab testng library as well. So let me go here, search for testng, and testng we're gonna use library from org.testng, and I think we can use 7.4. Let's try. So these are the couple of libraries we are going to use, rest assured and testng for today's class. Now we can import those by clicking on Control S. All the libraries are importing. So, and if you want to check, right, all the libraries, you can just go to external libraries, and you can see all the rest assured related libraries and testng libraries are imported here. Here you can see all the rest assureds, and here is testng as well. So now we're gonna go back to our test again, and we can start writing. So what we did in our first class, right? In the first, if I recall correctly, we just make one GET request and get the list of users, right? So let's do similar, then we can move on to advanced parts and how it works and everything. So let me write a methods. So public void get list of users, and the first thing, right, what we have to do is we have to use the given method, right? So, and if you see here, right, is if you look here, rest assured is not giving us like any class to import it, right? And it's saying we need to create this given method, but we are trying to import this given method from the rest assured library. The reason behind that is why we are not able to get it, because we have to do one static import in rest assured. Whatever in the in futures, if you guys work, right, all the static inputs should be done manually. So we will do two static import manually. So those are, let me, okay, import dot io dot rest assured dot rest assured. And we are just gonna, we are trying to access all the, okay, if you look at here, right, we forget to put static word, and hopefully it should resolve. Yep. So this is the first static import we just did, and the other one we are going to do is static dot mcross dot matchers. So this library will be using for all the assertions and everything. So as we move on, right, we are gonna try to less use of this library. So there is a couple of other way you guys can do it, but these are the two importance, manual static imports we have to do. So let me write one comment here as well. To So right now you guys can see, right? It's not red anymore. So given, so if you guys recall, right, in given, what is given to us, right? So first of all, let's go to here, add any headers. Is I don't think any of those headers are required. So as of now, we can skip, but in the post and other calls, we do require all the headers and everything. So we don't need any headers. Okay, I think I missed one of the very important thing. Also, in given method, we can pass body as well. So I don't think anything is required as of now in the given method. Then what we are gonna do, okay, it's weird. We're gonna put dot and we're gonna call the when methods. And in when, right, what we are trying to do, and like I said in here, in when method, we are gonna say what kind of request we are sending, right? So we are sending the, so we are sending one get request, right? And we're gonna take this method. So get URL and URI is same thing, and it's a string. So we're gonna go to our postman and copy the URI and go here, and this is the URIs we are sending, right? And then section, it's of now I'm not going to validate anything, so just going to go here, put dot, and then so this process is called chaining process, right? If you guys can see it, right, after given method we have to put dot, then call the next method. So this process is called chaining process here. And one thing, if I wants to run these methods and see does it works or not, we have to use the testng library. So we can use the testng test tag from the testng library test. Yeah, and we can import this from org testng annotations. And to run it, let's do right click and run. Let's see what is the outputs and what we are getting. Okay, console is coming up. So yes, of now, just we just run our first rest assured test case, and what we can see in the results part, right? It says total test runs one and passed one. But if you look at here, we are not seeing any logs, meaning, right, we are not seeing any outputs, right? How, for example, in here, right, at Postman, if I just click on it in the response body, right, in the response body, we can see all the response and everything. For in the rest assured, there is something called log methods, which provided by rest assured. So we can use one log method in the given section, and another one is the rest, I mean then section. So let's do dot log, and we want to log everything, right? Let's log everything all, and we're gonna do similar in the then as well, dot log dot all, and let's run our test again. I don't know why it's too slow today. Yesterday I did Yesterday I did Windows update. Maybe that is causing some slowness, but hopefully. Okay, right now we can see, right? So this is the call is kind of like, this is what in the then section, right? We prepared all the requests and you guys can see the full URI, request URI, this the URI we have sent. And these are the all the headers and it's okay. These are the parameters, but those are empty as of now. And this section in the body, right, you guys can see what is the status code. Status code is 200, and these are couple of the headers, content type, application slash JSON, and I'm not sure are those required or not, but the one we are interested is the response body. So if you look at here, we can see all the response, whatever we did see in the postman, we are getting similar response in IntelliJ as well. And those are, our results, everything in past. So let me write some description about, it's always a good practice, right? What is your methods? Do just write, 2-3 lines of comments. So it's going to be very easy for you to understand in futures. So this method is for the getting list of users. So this is the one line comments I had. Let me change this. Okay, get list of user test one. So I just change the method name. And let me run it again, just making sure it's not breaking anything. Okay, it's working as fine. But right now we are not doing any assertion and anything, right? So let me create another method. So, it's going to be much clearer for you guys to understand later on. So what I'm just going to do, and let me just copy this. And here I'm just going to change this method to 2. And just organize the test a little bit. And like I said previously, right? If you go here in then section, in here we can start all the verification, right? We can validate the status code, we can extract the response, we can extract the headers as well, and also whatever response body we are getting, we can extract that as well. So let's start with our first one, which is like, we have been using, which is checking the status code, right? So let me just go here. REST should provide one methods call. Status code. Yeah. So we can use this method, status code. And in status code, what is we are expecting? We are expecting 200, right? And let's run it and check, right? Does it works or not? And run. So right now I am running single methods, but if you guys want, we can run all the class together as well. Yeah, and we can see this test get passed. Right now, we are not putting any comments or anything. It's, I will be, we'll be adding more features, so which is going to be more real. which is going to be really nice. So let's just change this to status code to, let's say, 400 and see does it works or not. So let's go. Yeah, so in here, where it is, maybe all the way down, scroll down, and you guys can see the assertion failed. The status code is 400 but was 200. So this means, our assertion is working as expected. Okay, so should I write another methods, or for in same methods, right, we can add more, more, assertions. So what do you guys prefer? Okay, let me add some one comments in here. Verify status code is 200, and let me change this 400 to 200. And we can also verify this. Let me go to my response here, right? We can also verify the whole line. So for that, it's going to be, status line. So let's do similar one. Dot. There is one method called as a status line. And let me copy this, and in double quotation, I'm going to put that. And let's see how it works. Okay, it's working. Let's say, okay, let's do one assertion in the headers, and just to be make sure, right, our request is working as expected. So in the headers, let me choose, let's do what is content type and see does it works or not, right? So let's do, let me remove the semicolon, to dot. There is one method called header, and in header, what we can send is, what is the content type? It's a key and value pairs, right? So header name, and I think it's the header value. Okay, expected value, and we are expecting this. And let's run our test and make sure is everything is working as expected. We haven't started, doing any assertion on the body, so we're gonna move on to that. First, I just wanted to show you guys, right? These are the couple of things you guys can do it. Also, you guys can practice, right? Well, you guys can do assertion on the all the headers, whatever you guys can see here. Just use the dot header method, and which is provided by rest assured. Okay, let me write something so you guys can do understand easily later on. Verify status line. Verify. can move on. Okay, let's say we want to do assertion on the body, right? So let's say, I want to check the total number of records, right? Like how many users are in their total. So what we could do is we could, let's remove this one, and we can use one method which is called dot body. And in the body, right, what exactly we wants to check this, right, total value of it. So what we could do, first we have to come here. So let's take meta in double quote dot, and here now inside this we want to verify this, right, total number of users. Let's copy in here. Now we are gonna use, right, one method is called equal to. So let's write, and this method, okay, I miss semicolon here, uh, I mean comma here. And this method is coming from the methods, right? Earlier we have did one import which is, warg hemcrash. So this method is coming from the hemcrash library, so we can just easily use it. So let's say this is our expected results. Let's see what do we get. Let's run it and make sure it's working as expected. Okay, looks like our session got failed. Let's check. So it's saying 1342 expected. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's not do this right now, but let me comment as of now, but I'll come to this one. So I know what is the reason behind it, but let's do one similar one for which is constant value, right? We know that whatever is the page, right, it's going to be constant. So let's take this, or limits. Let's go change the totals to this limit and search for 20, and let's see what do we get. Okay, so we failed as well. Okay, okay, so actually it is expecting, integer, but we are passing as a string, right? So that's the reason it's failing. So that's good to know. Okay, so for an integer, okay, let me change it slightly different and let's do similar thing. Okay, let's get all the IDs, right? This is what we are trying to do, right? So I'm just gonna slightly change my path and do different assertion, which is from the data, right? We're gonna start from here and we are gonna take all the IDs, right? Whatever IDs in this response. So just put dot ID, and we're gonna use one different, method which is from Hemcrest as well, which is has size. So has size is performed similar to, like, when you have arrays, array or list of any things is similar as like, is to perform in any list or array list, whatever you have, to perform assertion on that, we can use this hash size method from the rest assured. And let's see what do we get. Yeah, so right now we can see all of our assertion got passed. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the other assertion as well in in next method or so. So I just wanted to give you guys some of the ideas, right? How we do assertion on the rest assured. So let me write one another method so all of you guys can understand. And let me write it from scratch. And let me write a couple of comments in here. Okay. Third is users. Then after that, what we are doing, and yeah, I think that's good enough for you guys to understand status code. Okay, let's write another method in similar way. First, test conflict void get list of user test 3. Okay, so right now, right, in previous request, what if you guys can see here, right? Remember in, let's say, let me go here, and remember last time we have used the concept of setting the environments, right? And right, how can we basically set the domain URL and everything, right? In REST Assure, we can also do similar stuff. So to do that, we have to use some one method or which is one class which is called REST assured dot base URI. We are going to use this method. Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, actually, it should be something like this, but I'm not sure why in IntelliJ just went up, but so it's gonna be like similar REST assured dot base URI. And what is our base URI, right? Last time we have talked up to here co.in, this is our base URI, and this is the resource identifiers. So in base URIs, we can set up this. So let me copy and paste it here. Now semicolon. So let me write one comment as well. We can set up. Okay, let's start similar, right? So usually, right, what I like to do first let's write all the methods, right? Given the next line, I'm just gonna come dot when. Then, so before I prepare anything, this is the one thing I like to do. So in given, right? In given, we know what is the requires, right? So given is like, we can set up all the stuffs, add headers, parameters, what tokens, and body if we do. And right now for get request, we don't have to set up anything, so we can skip that as of now. And next is the get method, right? I just let me go here, right? In previous get records, in get request, right? What we have done is we have put total URIs, right? Right now already we have set up domain URI in here in the rest assured dot base URIs. So right now for the get, let me do dot get, and in get method, what we can do, we can just put the resource identifiers. So let's do, and let me do dot log dot all, and let's do same thing for as well, dot log dot all, and let me run it to make sure it's working as expected. And if you guys see here, right, this is the request URI, and here you guys can see rest assured automatic, it knows, right, it needs to append this base URI with the resource identifier. So by automatically we don't have to do anything, rest assured is doing that for us. So let me write some comments in here as well. So, and you, okay, and let's do some of the stuffs, okay. And there is another way also we can do assertion, which is, let me go here, and already rest should provide one method which is called assert that. We can take leverage of that as well. Assert that, then me do dot status code. We can just perform similar, but right now what we are doing, we're just using this method which is called assert that. And if you want to do in the assertion similar ways, so there is one word called, one method called and, if you want to do multiple assertion at the same time, and dot status line, and our status line is this, and we can do again and dot and dot, what is, let's say content type. And this, in this method, right, we can just post what is our content type. So in previously what we have done is, right, we have take these headers and check it physically, key and value pairs. Right now already rest assured provide one methods called content type. So in content types, they know already, right? What is it? So we can call one method, I think it is, which is content type. And let's go. What is just happened? Okay. Content type dot JSON, and let's see how it works. So let me run it and see does all of our assertion get passed or not. The reason I am spending, most of the time in get request, because all the requests are going to be, we are going to send similar way, but if you understand one, then all the rest are going to be very easy for you. So yep, all the session and everything gets passed. So let me show you another one, right? I think earlier I showed you guys one in the header. So let's do one different. Let's say we want to check content encoding is this value or not, right? So let me do one and show you, then we can move on to some interesting stuff. Okay, dot and dot headers we want to check, right? And we want to check is content encoding is the zip or not, right? So let's do this, my header's name, and this is the expected value we are expecting. And let me do, and all the session and everything get passed. So let me write another methods for get, then I'll show you some the way you have more advantage and where you can do all the sessions and everything. So let's do, let me copy this method so to save some time. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to use this format, but let's go. So given dot when dot then, and already we know how to set up the base URIs. So let's just skip in then section. What we can do, we are gonna specify what kind of request we are making, the get request, and let me get it from here, the path, and this is the then section, right? What we want to do differently this time is, if I mouse over on the then, right, this then method returns, okay, I think get methods, yeah, okay. So yep, this get method returns one value calls one, a class or return type is response. So what we are going to do, we don't need to use then, because we're just going to eliminate that, and we can store whatever this get methods is returning, that right. This get method return type is R, which is stands for response. So we can store this whole response, whatever is get method is returning, in response variable. So let me do you show you guys how we do. So we are going to create one response variable. Response, and let's say response is equal thing. We import this response from, okay, we should import this response from the REST assured library, but previously what we have done is import from some other library. So that's the reason it was giving us error. So if you look at here, it is importing from io.rest assure response. So, and here, right, whatever is get method is returning, right, we store that in one response variable. So now we can do some fancy work by using this response variable. So let's do something called as, let's try to print, right? Let's see, does it, is it printing or not? So let's do response dot, there is one method called pretty print, yes. And this pretty print returns type is string. So we can store that in one string variable, string response body. And now we can just print out, let's do one response body, and let's see, does it print the response body for us? Yep. Here you guys can see this the response body we are printing by using this, by following this process, right? Now if I want to check, right, what is the status code, let's say response, okay, I think we have the variable name, we give response body get, it is status code or oh, okay, this the reason, okay, I need to use the response dot, and these are the options we are getting, these are the things we could do. So let's get status code, and get status code returns type is string. So what we can do is we can store that in one string variable int, it is status code, and status code, and let's print out, then we can do using testng library, we can perform assertion. So let me write is this code is, and let's do, okay, I'll do it assertion later. Okay, we can see this is the message we just print, right? And we store this response code into one variable, which is we have given the name as status code. So can anyone help me, right? If I want to do testng assertion on it, how can I do that? can use testng library to do assertion as well, right? So if we want to do any assertion in testng, right, first you have to write assert, and we have to import this assert from testng dot, and what we are checking assert, let's check equals, and I think first we have to give our status code, comma, and expected is 200. Let's see. So this is our actual value, right? This is what we are getting from the response, and this is our expected. And if I want to do, let's check. Can anyone tell me why did it failed? And if I scroll down all the way, the reason is failing cause, expected results in int, but we are sending as a string, right? So that's the reason it was failing. So let's remove it and let's run it again, just making sure it's working as expected. Yep, all the tests are basically passed. And let's say right now, let me make it much easier for you guys to understand. Remember earlier, right? You wasn't able to do any assertion on the total values and whatever is the page and everything. So right now we can do that by using one class which is JSON path, and we can store that. Let me show you, instead of, and we are going to import this class from the io.restassure.path.json, and JSON path is equal, and what we are trying to do, right, we are trying to store that response into JSON path. So let's say response dot JSON path. So right now, right, what we are converting this response into a JSON path. I mean, it's kind of like that, but in a similar way. So what we are in this variable, right, in JSON path, we have stored the response. So by calling that JSON path, we can, traverse in the response body, right? The way how earlier we have done, if I go back to here, right, where we have checked how many IDs are there and those sort of stuff. So we can do similar thing. So let's copy this one just for our reference in here. Earlier, we tried to validate this, right? What is the total numbers of, records or total numbers of users? So let's try to do that. Okay, so we know that total numbers of users is string. So let me create one string variable and give that name as, let's say, total user, and we are gonna use this variable JSON path dot, and you guys can see here, this is, there is a couple of characters, right? This one is overwritten, but this is the one we are going to use. We're going to send the string path variable to get a specific path for JSON, right? So this is the path we wanted to grab from the response. So let's do that. And let me print the number of users are in rest. Let's see what we get. Yep, our list, whatever assertion we have done, it get passed. Oh, we did not perform any assertion, sorry. Okay, let me go here and this the records and let's do some assertion as well. So to perform the assertion, what we have to do is write assert dot assert equals and our actual results is the variable we have given to you user, and this is the expected results. And let me do take similar couple of other stuffs as well. So let's take how many pages are there, right? So total pages, and to get it right, previously we have totals, right? Just change this to pages in here. And if you guys have any question, right, how to traverse or how to get in a particular path, let me know, please, because I am already aware of that, right? I am sure, right, you guys have practiced, and I think in last class I have sent you one link as well, right, where you can find just one path pretty easily. So you guys can use that as well. So okay, the number of pages and pages. Information on for a particular users or anything. So let me just go and let's run it and see. Okay, our session got failed. Let's check what is the reason. Okay. Yes. So, okay, I think we have expected. Oh, okay. This is the reason. There is total 68 pages, but we have given almost 1341, so it's way too much. Okay, let's check. Yeah, so this value, total record is not constant, so it's just keep increasing. But let's try one more time and see does our assertion. Okay, so it just got, there was one record was removed, so someone might be working on delete one record. So let's see. Yeah, so it is failing in here again. So yeah, let's not spend time on that for now. I'm just gonna remove this assertion, but it's gonna be similar assertion like this one. So you guys can practice for, you guys can check all the receipt. So you guys can check for all the pages, limits, and everything. So let's say, right, if you wants to get a particular user from the, list of users. So let's say I want to get this user, first user, right? And to do that, what we have to do. So, okay, let me, before creating any variables, so first, right, we have to go to here, this is string data, and to do that, right, we need to use json path, dot get, and we are trying to find this, first user id name. So if you want to traverse, so first it's going to be data, then whatever name we want to check, this we want to get the name value of it. So let's say, and this get is returning a string type, right? So let's store a string first username, and let me print out and check what's happening in here. It should fail, but yeah, let's check. Yeah, so can any of you tell me why it is failing? Remember, right? Last time we also tried to perform similar assertion, and to get, if you look at here, this data is a list of, users. So to get a specific users, what we have to perform, we have to specify which users we want to grab, right? So let's say I want to get the user 0 in array, right? It start from 0, so we are trying to get the first user. So let's check. So this is the way you can get a particular user. So let's check for it. And if I scroll all the way down, this is our first user, right? Shiba Shah. And let's go scroll up all the way here. And this is the user's name. And let's do one assertion to show you guys how it's going to be done. Assert dot assert equals and first, then expected value is this. So do you guys have any questions so far in get request? Now we are gonna move on to, post and put and delete. So I'm not gonna spend that much time on those requests. So I just wanted to give you all the overview, basic overview, right? How you can test the APIs and everything. Yep, this looks like all of our test is got passed, so everything is working as expected. And here you can see all the stuffs. Okay, now I am gonna create another class. Let's give this class name as create user API test. So to create a user, right? Let me just copy this stuff so I can refer easily what are the required fields and everything. So first of all, right, let's create public void create user API test. Um, So to create a user, these are the couple of information we need. First of all is the URI, then headers, right? We do need the authorization token. You guys already familiar with how to get the authorization token in the API, right? I think whatever document I have sent you guys is in there. Go.in. Let me show you again. Yeah, from this link, you guys can get the authorization token, just sign in and it will give you one token. You can use that. And also we need body, right? So to do that in, you know, for automation, we can prepare same request. So first let's set up domain URL, right? Rest assured dot base URI is equal set. Okay, base URI. Yeah, so I just put it there for reference. So this portion is the base URI here. And then I'm just gonna write all those methods, right? Given, when, then. So given, and right now, right? Oh, okay, I have misspelled, right? Given, and if you look at here, right? It is not giving us the option. The reason behind it, earlier, like I said, right? We have to do two manual import for rest assures. So let's just go here, and for time being now, I think which are the two? Yeah, these are the two imports. Let's copy and paste it there. And this error is gone now. So let's do given dot when dot then. Okay, so this style. Okay, so first, right, in given method, if we have any headers, parameters, or tokens and body, so these are the steps we can put in the body, right? So let's do that. Let's recap. For get request, we need a body, and for as well, we have to pass authorization to con as well in the headers, right? So let's do that. Let me go here and given dot, let's put headers first, headers. So in headers, what do we have? Authorization, then the token value, right? So let's write it. Authorization and token value. Okay. Okay, I missed copy something. Okay, so this is the token value. Okay, let's do one thing, right? For time being now, let me store our token value in store forest here. So it's gonna be easier for us to understand. And I'm just gonna remove this and use this variable in here. So it's same thing as, putting it here. So this is the headers, and what else? And we need to pass the body as well, right? So let's go here, and to send a body, we have to use the dot body method, right? Body, and just click on it, and we can pass this body as a string. Just copy this whole body and go here and do double quotation and paste it here. So it's might look, in rest assured, I mean, previously it was in JSON format, right? And all the space and everything. Right now, this JSON body, we just convert it to a string. So that's why you can see one backward slash and with n. So this indicates the next lines and everything. So if you guys are not familiar, right, you guys can just as of now skip it. But it's basically what we just did is we just put double quotation and paste this body. So this is the simpler way I could put it. And the next step is, right, we just put headers and body. Okay, and we don't have any parameters right now, and hopefully we are not missing any headers. Let's go right now. We have to use the post call, right? We are trying to create a users. Let's do that. Let's use one post method. So to use the post method, just put dot and post, and this is the resource identifiers, right? We can just paste it here. Okay, and let's check anything else we need to do. Yeah, then validation. Okay, right now we are not going to do any validation. Let's check does it works or not. So I think copy this stuff as well, but I don't need it. So let's use testng and let's run it. So this is our first post request, and let's see. Okay, let me put dot log so we can see does the user was created or not. So in then section as well, dot log dot all, and let me run it. Hope for the best. Nice. And we can see we just send a request successfully, but we did not do any assertion on the body, right? So let me go over it. So this is the, base URI, whatever we have sent. So from here, so this is the request we have sent, and this is our body, what we are trying to send, right? This is the user we want to create, and this is the response we are getting. So response headers, everything is coming fine, but if you look at the response body, right, it is giving us status code is 244. And if you look at here, right, meta null everything, and here failed email can't be blank and this stuff, right? So the reason behind it, remember when we are using postman, by automatically postman, if you are making any post call, right, in postman, they already give one headers which is content type by default in postman, right? Whenever if you change this, method to get, right, it's not going to show you this content type. But for all the others, right, what kind of body we are sending, right, basically this is what's indicate, right? So we are sending a JSON body type, right, in similar. So this is a JSON format, but we are sending as a string, right? But we need to indicate that, okay, we are sending a JSON format body. So that's the reason it's unable to write. If you look at the body format, this is the body format we are sending, but it is unable to hit, right? It doesn't know, okay, what I need to create. Is it a what kind of value you are sending? So to do that in headers, we need to use this as well. So we need to use the another header value as well. So dot. Why does it go back to space? Okay, dot header. And what is our key? Key is gonna be the headers, right? Content type. And let me go here. Then this is our value, headers name, and headers value is the application slash JSON. So let's do that and let's try. Yeah. So if you guys can see right now, is we just created this user successfully and everything is working as expected. So just remember, right, for this API, we need to pass content type whenever we are making any post, put, and delete call. We have to pass headers as well. Okay, so this is one important. Okay, if you look at this, body, right, it's kind of looks weird to me and it doesn't look nice, right? What we are doing, we are passing whole body. Let's say tomorrow we need to pass, we have huge requirements, and let's say it's like 30-40 lines of body we request body we have to pass. So if we paste it here, it's like if anyone looks your code, is they're just going to say, okay, what is wrong with him? So can we create a one method, let's say, just to get the body, right? So let me write one method, public void. Let me write void as of now, get payload. And can I write something like, I'm not sure, are you guys familiar with this or not? Let's say I'm just gonna return one, this whatever we written in here. So let's say this is the string I want to return, and end of this line, I'm just gonna, it's giving me error cause the method return type need to be string. Okay, let me know if you guys have any question on it. So if you are seeing something for first time, please I can explain. So what we just did, right? We just create a payload or such as a body, right? This is the body we want to pass, but we are storing this body in a method. So we can just call this method instead of, right, creating whole body. So let me remove this and let me call this get payload method in the body, which is going to work similar way. And let's run it and see. And if you guys recall, right, it should not create this user because this user have been taking, right? Every time if you want to create a user, you need an unique email address. So let me typing now. Let me change this email to one and let's see does it works or not. Yeah, it's work as expected. And we can also add all the assertions and everything. So should I add all the assertions or you guys wants to practice, and if any of you wants to have just guide me, write some assertions, we could do that as well. Okay, since no one is interested, but okay, let's do that. Let me write one assertion. Let's say I just want to do the similar way how I did it. So instead of dot status code is 200. This is the first assertion we're just gonna do. Then what we could do is let's check for what should I check? Okay, let's check for the name. We're not gonna change the name dot. So I'm gonna use the Hemcrust library for this assertion, but if you guys want more fancy, right, you guys can use the JSON path as well. You can store this whole response in one JSON variable, then you guys can start validating that. So if we have time, right, I can show you that as well. So as of now, let's just go, let me go data dot, and let's say we want to check this name, and from the Hemcross library, if you want to compare any string, we will need to use, okay, this library should come from equals to, I think it's equal to, yes. Okay, let me, sorry guys, let me just double check why it's not importing. Yes, it should import. It's weird. Cannot resolve equal to in a method. Let me go for here and here. is weird, but yeah, I'll look into that. And I don't know why it's not letting us, or it's not importing. We do have these methods. Or oh, okay, so the reason was right. We did not import this. We did import that library, but it looks like is unable to find this Hemcrash library in there. So let me just go back and let's do. Okay, yep, right now this stuff is gone. And let's check right now. Let me check the email ID again. And let's see. And if you look at here, right, is the whatever assertion we have put, the name and everything is passed. But it's always best practice to test once you create a user, right? Just check in the database or just make a get call to make sure, right? These users, whatever you have created is just got it successfully. So let me write one quickly get method. So public void get get a user user then gonna waste too much time on it, but time being now, let me just do copy and paste. And I'm gonna remove, I don't think it is required for us, content type, and body is also not required for get call, and it is a get. And if I go back to this page, and remember we have seen to get a specific users at the end we have to put the user ID. Remember here, get a specific user. So let's say we want to get the Faisal's user ID, right? It's already given to us 1466, so we can use similar, just put one forward slash 1466 to get this user ID. And I think, let me see how the body is gonna be looks like. As of now, I'm just commenting this line, and let me put one semicolon here, and let's use one test ng annotation, and let's check. Okay, it's giving me error. Okay, no, where it is. Where is this coming from? Okay, we have one extra curly brace. And you guys can see, right? This is the user we have created. And let's say you want to perform all the assertions and everything. Let's do that. Let me uncomment this line and remove this semicolon. Also, let me just remove everything, and let's do dot status code is 200 or not. And this is the name. And let's check as well email as well. So as of now, I'm just doing copy paste, but if you guys have any question, please let me know. And let me put semicolon here. does not match. Oh, okay. I think we did not check this to email. So just always right, if you change any line or anything, it's always better to run your test after you add anything. So instead of right waiting for finishing all code and run your test, so you can catch your any errors quickly and you can fix it pretty quick. Nice. So we just create these users and it is working as expected. And we did written couple of assertion, but you guys can do in similar format where this way as well, so you guys can have more leverage on that. So let me, wow, okay, we have another 30 minutes, so let me go move on to, yeah, if we have time, right, I'm gonna show you, right, how we can add multiple users at a time. So if you look at here in this section, right, what we are doing, we are using this user at a time. But let's say tomorrow we have requirements where you need to add 5 users at the same time. How can you do that? Instead of changing your body response payload or body, right, whatever it, how can we do that? Let's see if we have time or not. Okay, let's go and move on to our next call, which is put. Okay, update the API test. And what I'm just gonna do is, let me go copy this and here so we can refer to these notes. And let's me do all the imports as well, so to save some time. And let's go right to update a user. Let's go back to Postman here. Okay, wow. I don't know why it was giving me errors. Okay, so to update a user, we are sending almost similar similar stuff, right? We will need to send a body, we'll need to send a headers as well, and in headers, right, we need to pass authorization token as well, and what is the content type, right? What kind of body we are sending or payload we are sending. So let's do that, and let's go. Let me probably with update user API test. Let's go for it. So let's do first thing is we're going to set the domain's URL, right? Rest assured base URI is equal to this. And cron as well is string what to cron, and let's store that in here. What else we need? Okay, we need a, wow. Now I think we can start. So first method is always given dot when dot then, let me do some organized work. Given what we need to do is we have to add whatever headers, right? So dot headers. First one is the authorization token. So authorization, our we store whatever token value in what token variable. So let's get it from there, and let's go add the another headers we have to pass, right, which is header. And let's do this way one. Content type, we go here, content type, then comma, and this is the value. And also we need to pass the updated payload, right? So let's go dot body. As of now, I'm just gonna put one empty. And when we are making update call, right, we have to specify user. So let me get this information from here. And this request. So this is the user. Excuse me. This is the user we are trying to update. So let me put it here. Oh, when we are making a put call, right? If you want to update anything, we have to make dot put. So we are making a put call, and this is the information for this call we are trying to update. So let's go, and let me, for time being now, I'm just getting this, payload. And let me set up this payload different way so you guys can get all type of flavors, right? String date user payload, and let's say we want to change Faisal name to, let's say, Pavel. Let's see. And instead of writing this way, let me just copy this, and you guys can do is similar, right? Let me show you what you can create one string variable, and let's give name, say, body, and you are storing the response in this body. So it's similar. Now in next line, what we can do is just returning the body. So it's same as previously what we have done, but in previously we did it in the same line, right? So it's like we are saving one line of code. So basically this is what it is. And this is the body. What I'm going to pass in this here, we're going to call this method. Okay, and it's giving us, okay, fine. And let's see, does it works or not, at the rate test, and let's run it, right? We are trying to change the name to Faisal to Pavel. Let's see that what do we get. Okay, it did work, but we did not log anything, right? So let's just do dot log dot all, and also in the response we want to log everything, dot log dot all. to see how it works. Okay, and let me run it again. Yeah, okay, this is the body we are sending. Okay, yep, and if you guys can see here, right, it is working as expected here. Name just got changed, and this is the information. And if I want to get same user again, let me, okay, let me just go to the create APIs, and we have get user test. I'm just gonna copy these methods, and let's see here. After updating it, what is the users we are getting? So yeah, let me know, guys. I'm just doing some copy paste, so if you guys are confused, feel free to ask. Okay, let's see. Our assertion should fail. Yep, because we just update the name. Previously it was Faisal S, right? We just changed it to Pavel S. So let's copy it here and change this here. Just making sure it is working. Yep, all the assertions and everything passed. Okay, okay. And this is the way you guys can, use all the assertions and everything. And let me show you this way. Also, what you guys can do is for this one, let me store whatever response in one of the response variable, and we can add all the assertions and everything. So time being now, I'm just gonna comment this for line. So in this one, we are getting the update user, you know, update user test. After we update it, we are getting these specific users, right? So I'm just gonna do the different way. So let's see. In previously, right, we have seen we can store this get request or whatever port, put, uh, update, delete, right, all the request in response variable. So let me call this response, and response equal, and we can import this library from the rest assured. So it's similarly, right, whatever this method is returning, we are storing this into this response variable. And let me remove this log sol. And remember earlier, right, we have used JSON path, so we can do the similar stuff right now. So to do that, we have to create one, we have to call the JSON path class. So let's do that. JSON path is equal response dot JSON path, and now we can call this JSON path to do all the assertions and everything. So let's go here, JSON path dot status code. Okay, what is it? It should be the status code. Mm, JSON path get status, no. Yeah, it should be the this way. Sorry, let me go back and we can check how we did it earlier. Yeah, so JSON path, then JSON path get, well, we did get all the yeah, so this is the way we did. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's look like we use the response for the JSON code. Sorry. So however, we thought int status code is equal response dot get status code. So the reason was it wasn't working because this is just gonna give me the bodies, right? It's gonna, this JSON path is just gonna help me to traverse or just validate the body whatever we are getting to test it. So and let me just do start status code is status code, and let's do similar assertion what we have done in here. So just quickly let me write. So in the first word we are trying to get username, right? So let's do JSON path dot get, and we can specify the path, right? So this is the path, data, then name. So I'm just gonna copy it here, and this is gonna return a string, right? This returning name is gonna be a string type. So string username is equal this, and let me do assert dot assert equals username, oh, shit. Username comma here, and let me copy this, paste it here, and also let me print out that user name is username, and let me run it just to make sure it's working as expected. Okay, the reason we are not seeing any body or anything, right? So let's also print the body. So to do that, remember, we can use the response dot, there is one method REST should provide is pretty print. Let's do that, and let's store this pretty, this response into one string variable, string response body, and here it is, and let me change it. Let me print the response as well, and to see in different color, let's do okay, yeah, so this is the response we were expecting, and here it is. Okay, let's do the last one, which is delete. So just gonna create another class. Let's call this, give this class name, say delete user API test. And let me copy some of the information from here, which is this the required, and delete. And I'm just gonna do all the import as well, so to save some time. Okay, so to make it delete, right? Let's see what we need for this API. Okay, for delete, we just need the authorization token in headers. There, we are not passing any body, and we just need URI. So it's going to be very simple. Let's see. Let's go to my Postman and write public void delete. Okay, and let me do all the import given point. Okay, things not importing. Why? Okay, we have to import this. Okay, what is the static import scope? Yeah, looks like we just need to do the static imports again. So let me go here. Here it is, and copy it from there. And hopefully this error is gone. Perfect. And let's try. So first one, what we have to do is set the base URI, right? So rest assured dot base URI is equal this, or let me copy it, and I'm going to put it there as of now. Oh. Okay, and given right as of now, we just need the authorization to con in the headers. So let's do that. Dot header authorization to con, and this is the value. Okay, yeah, let me store string to con and put it here. Let's use this instead of passing this whole string in there to con, and I don't think anything else is required. Then what kind of request we are making? We are sending a dot delete, and what exactly wants to delete? Sorry, let me go and get this specific user details. So we want to delete this user, right? So let's go again, and here Okay, and let's do some log and see dot log dot all, and once it deletes, so let's say log dot all. Let's run it, hope for the best. Okay, so okay, uh, test, and let's run it. And let's see response body, and we are getting 204. I believe this word is the expected results. Let's see. We are going to create one user in here. Create one user. Okay, and this email already has been taken. Let's see. Let's change it to 33. And this is the user ID. And delete API. If you delete this record, let's see what is the. Yep. So if you guys look at right, this is the response body we are expecting. The code should be 204 meta null, and data is also coming as a null. And let's go check here. And if you look at here, right, it's working as expected. And let's do one thing. Let me add a couple of assertions so you guys can, just get some clear idea. Yes, same thing. You guys can perform, all the assertions and everything. And do you guys have any questions? Wow, everyone seems quiet. So that's all I had for today's, but looks like everyone is pretty tired. Otherwise, if anyone is interested learn in API, I can show a couple of other examples to get you guys more familiar with APIs. Shantavai, that's all I have for today's.
Okay. This is a lot of stuff actually for students.
Yeah, there is lots of stuff. So that's the reason most of the
Yeah.
times I spend in the get APIs, because if you understand one request, right, we have done a couple of examples in here, so you guys can get more familiar
But
with it.
this is really, really details and really, really helpful. I'm sure if somebody just exactly copy your stuff and just practice, they will be good enough for interview actually. So anybody has any specific question? I'll be sharing this video with all of you guys. So you can just follow him, follow Pavel, and practice exactly the way he did. Um, so again, everything is based on your practice. If you do practice, it will not be too hard. But if you don't practice, then yes, that will be tough.
Yeah, just follow the postman, and if you understand one of the tests, right, let's for example this one, then just try to follow the postman and see, right, how we make all those requests, and just follow it, you will be fine. Yeah, sometimes it takes time, but yeah, there is all the logics and everything in there. Yeah, if any of you have any question, feel free to ask.
Pavel, hey,
Yeah.
in real life, did you need anything else for API?
Okay, so this whatever I have showed you, right, so I'm just being honest, right, whatever I showed you, we are not gonna in real life, we are not gonna do this way. What we are gonna
Yeah.
do, if you see all the get requests and everything, we are gonna create a one framework, and inside the framework we are gonna, you know it's kind of like we are gonna or whatever methods, right, I have used kbn when then, right, I'm gonna make a wrapper class for those. So if you look at here, right, every time if I create one methods, I have to write all those syntax, right, again and again, given when then, right. If let's say if you tomorrow you have 100 test cases and you need to write all those. So for that, right, what in my team we have done is we have built one framework, and inside that, right, we have create one get request call. So inside that we are passing all the information to prepare the get call, and in the test basically what we are passing is just the headers information, and we are making as a dynamic, right? As of now, if you look at this get request, right, this base URIs and everything, this request is just going to work for only this API. Let's say tomorrow you have another API to test. So for that reason, it's just a, you have to build a framework. But if you understand this process, right, it's just basically same stuff, but you are calling in more logical ways.
One organized way, right?
Yeah, more organized way. Yeah, it's just a framework, right? If I wanted to show you something like that, but if I start showing that, it's gonna take more than couple of hours or more than that. And
Yeah.
if you
Yeah, we need
guys
to
are
do
not familiar
practice.
with
I
this,
think that will be good.
yeah, if you guys are not familiar with this stuff, right, it's gonna be very hard for you. Yeah, if you guys, any of you get job in APIs, feel free to reach out to me and I can give you an overview on the frameworks and everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just practice this stuff because actually what we are doing is similar stuff, but you don't want to call every time those methods again and again, right?
So, Faisal, one thing I can say for API, like this type of API, if you have good Java knowledge, it will be much better.
Yes.
Like you will understand much better if you have good Java knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true, Shantavai.
yeah.
Because
So
all the you say the string, data type, all the calling, uh,
if you look at this get, right? So if you have good Java knowledge, or if you know all the assertions right from TestNG and everything, you can just convert all the response into JSON path, and then you can easily validate your whole response without worrying of right the methods hemcrust class, right? I use one library called hemcrust without of worrying this hemcrust, because usually in industry, right, all the developers and everyone they use this hemcrust method. So I found that difficult beginning, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, it's fine, right? If you know this stuff, like Shantavai said, you will be good enough, hopefully.
the APIs are really interesting and it should to practice more.
Yeah, it is very interesting and it's very fast, right? Compared
Yeah,
to if you look at this response, right? Today my laptop was acting weird, but even though if you look at here, right, it's not even take right more than 15-20 seconds to get a response from
right,
one
right.
request. And if you perform same stuff on the UI, at least it's gonna take 2 to 3 minutes. So if you have like in regression test, if you have like couple of hundred, those UI is going to take at least 4 to 5 hours. But if you have similar same API test for regression, it's just going to take 30 to 40 minutes. So it's compared to UI, API is much faster.
Right, right. And we don't have to catch the element, find the element, no expert. It's very good.
Yeah, but in FPI, right, we do have
Yeah.
similar stuff, but it is a much advanced topic. That's the reason I did not
Okay.
touch, but it's just similar, right? Whatever path, it's like, if you look at here, right, this is the path, this is the JSON path we are getting, right? So
Right,
in
right.
API, we also can convert JSON data into an XML format, and from there
Okay.
we can start the expert the way we have been getting the elements in the UIs.
Oh,
But yeah, as of now, if you understood this, yeah, you are going to be good enough and follow. If you guys want to learn more, just let me know. We can set up some times and give you some of the overview, high level overview on the APIs.
So Pavel,
okay.
thank you
Thank you,
so
Pavel.
much. Actually, so you actually explained a lot. So that's actually, as Pavel said, if you want to go to advanced topic, you need basic first. So uh, I think for interview, whoever just going to market soon, try to follow Pavel's these two class last week and this class. Then at least you can answer a lot of question. You can answer a lot of question. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
true.
there is advanced. So advanced level is will be a little more actually. So
Yeah, and let me tell you one more thing, right? In API, right, people wants to know your basic knowledge, right? In my company, right, whenever they hire, they usually don't want to know any of the coding stuff, right? Because most of the people, they assume you already know all the coding stuff and everything, but they wants to make sure you know the core concept. Most of the, in my company, most of the developers, whenever they takes interview, even though one of the developers, I was part of it, right, they just ask for all the status code and everything, how internally API works. So yeah, just basic stuff is the first step to go. And if you know basic stuff, right, you can make up sometimes your own answers.
So, Paul bhai, how many status code should we learn?
Okay, so there is the couple of, right, status code you have to know. First one is 200. 200 means, right,
That's
whenever we
successful.
are sending a request, it is hitting the server successfully, but in response, it might give you successful response, or sometimes it's empty response, right? So this means, right, is not sure, right? It's not guarantee we are getting a proper response or not, but that means we are hitting a server successfully. So it's like, success. Most of the people, they say just 200 is success, and 401 error is unauthorized, meaning, right, you don't have proper authentication tokens. I think if you have a minute, let me just make a one post call so I can show you here. Let me go to postman here and create user, right? Let's change this email to here. And okay, what is the headers? I just wanted to show you one thing. So this is the 401 error, but this API, this status, it should be 401, but they are passing this code in here. So this means, right, authentication failed. 401 is
Right.
authentication failed, and anything related 500 errors, right? This means it is coming from the server side. Nothing is nothing wrong with your side. It's from the server, right? Where they hosted this API is coming from there. So one thing, right, I would like to say is just understood this one. Whatever status, there is like, more than 50 56 or something, right, total status code. So this is the way I have been studying. Whatever, you know all the status code related to 200, those are, some sort of successful, right? Either is hitting successfully server, and whatever is 400, right, all the 400 errors are related is going to be your side, whoever is performing the test. So meaning you are missing some information from your side, either you are passing wrong URIs or anything. And all the 500 errors are coming from the server. So this is the one way, you can organize all the status code.
Thank you, bhai.
Yeah, Shantava, if you have anything, please add on.
no, it is good enough actually. You explain. You already gave a lot of
Yeah,
information to digest for everybody. Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, so it was really great actually, Pavel. Thank you so much uh, for last 2 weeks. Uh,
yeah. If you guys need the
um,
help with Selenium as well, feel free to reach out to me. So, I can try my best to give you.
yeah, so I will definitely call you actually for when ULY starts Cucumber, because I know you actually explained little differently than ULY, and that's actually much better, like slowly, but people understand more. So yes, so I'll probably maybe communicate with you for if somebody need Cucumber help for showing one class from scratch, building a framework. So yeah, but thank you, Pavel,
Yeah,
and It was really. I'll stop recording now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all and good luck.